everyone, welcome to Free Handly Made AU Crochet. My name's Nisi. In case you're new here, welcome to the channel. I say channel loosely because I'm not a regular on YouTube these days. I just wanted to say hi. Look, it's a very unusual Christmas here in the valley. Our snow's all melted. It's kind of weird. We're supposed to have a little snow tonight, but normally there's like so much snow you can build a snowman, and as you can see, it went bye-bye. So I'm a little worried that means we're going to get dumped on in January or February, but irregardless, we need the snow. We need the snow on our mountains because we rely on that water all summer long. So I'm not asking you to pray for a blizzard per se, because please don't, but we do need some snow, okay? Anyway, I just wanted to get on here real quick and say happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And I just had a little thing I wanted to share with you guys. For those of you where this holiday season's difficult for you, whether it be this is your first year dealing with someone that you lost forever for many reasons, could be through the loss of a loved one, through death or estrangement or whatever, what have you. And maybe you didn't lose them per se, but maybe they're in the military and they're off on deployment and you're not going to get to have them home with you. Maybe they got stationed overseas, or maybe they left to go on a mission trip. Like, there's so many reasons why you may not have a loved one with you this season that may be making your heart hurt, making you sad, and making it a painful moment. Or maybe this is your first holiday your very first holiday dealing with something that, after something traumatic has happened to you. And losing a loved one very suddenly can definitely be a traumatic experience for a lot of people. And I just want to let you know it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to allow yourself to be sad. Now, for me, I still have a little boy. As you can see, we have his fun inflatables going, and we have the house decorated. My husband had to help me this year. It was very difficult for me just to finish putting up the Christmas village. I just had a really hard time. But I will say I did enjoy watching my boys put up the Christmas tree and decorate it as I sat on the couch, and I just took it in. I just enjoyed watching them in a moment when I couldn't. So that was a blessing. So my husband has had to step up in a couple of ways. I had went to work, and when I came home from work that Monday, he had finished putting out all of my Christmas Peanut Snoopy collection. I have the Peanuts manger scene, ceramic figurines that he put out. I have my 3 Nutcrackers, which is Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and Woodstock, and then I have some very special Christmas Snoopy figurines. I can't think of oh my goodness, the name just left my head. I can't think of the artist, but he hand paints them, and they sell them at Hallmark. They're not exactly cheap, but he had finished putting out the rest of the decorations while I was at work, and that meant the world to me. The fall season and Thanksgiving is my #1 favorite season of the year, and holiday. I love Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is also one of my most favorites. Has been one of my favorites since I was a child. So my dad passed away this year, January 26th of this year. And I've taken time off YouTube, some much needed time off YouTube to heal and to grieve. And this is my first Christmas without my dad. It's not easy. But, you know, I was very lucky. I got to see my dad 2 weeks before he died. And I got to watch one more Dallas Cowboy football game with him. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. I had to recollect myself. I got to watch Westerns with him one more time. I got to have a very special father-daughter conversation with him. And he had told me how proud he was of my husband, that he was so thankful that I had my husband. He said he knew that I would be taken care of for the rest of my life and that I deserved that. I'd been through a lot in my life. A lot of it was self-inflicted, I will say. Plus, you know, when you're young and you're rebellious and nothing can ever hurt you, you do some stupid stuff. I mean, just watch a college kid movie and it tells you everything. I was, you know, so, you know, when you're living that party lifestyle, you tend to make mistakes. And so I had a really rough young adulthood. I mean, I got my college degree and I started coming out of the craziness. I would say my early 30s is when I finally started turning that right corner. And my dad knew that Sean was in my life during all of that time. Sean and I met when we were in our early 20s, and he was there for, my husband was there for all of it. We were best friends. We were thick as thieves. We were best friends. Nothing more than that. He was like my little brother. I'm only 3 weeks older than him, but he was my little brother. But that's how I treated him, right? I was a little more street smart than he was because of, you know, how I lived my life. Anyway, and my dad knew that. And then when Sean and I finally started to date, which was my dad's fault, by the way, because he told me I needed to give that boy the time of day. I had never looked at Sean any other way until my dad said that. But when we started dating and then we got married, I could tell my dad was relieved for many reasons. I don't think he thought his daughter would ever get married, because I don't think I would if it wasn't. I think Sean is the person for me, to be honest. I don't necessarily believe in soulmates. I just know that Sean is the only other safe male that was in my life ever, besides my brother and my dad and my uncles. To say plural, I have more than one. I have 3 uncles that have been in my life since I was a little girl. Actively in my life since I was a little girl. Let me put it to you that way. And I'm very thankful for my 3 uncles. Anyway, so I guess it's kind of a no-brainer that he and I ended up married. I think we loved each other and just didn't. Well, I think he loved me and he knew it, but I didn't. I think I loved him and didn't realize the depth that I loved him. It wasn't like a whirlwind romance, like, oh, I'm in love with him, you know, like you see in the movies, or like when you date someone for the first time and you're kind of like in this la la land. That wasn't the way it was with us. Our love story was very different than your mainstream love story. And I think for me, it had to be to get my attention. I think it had to be for me to make that leap. But, you know, my dad was very wise. He saw it. I didn't see it. He saw it. My Gigi saw it. My mother saw it. Everybody saw it but me. Nisi was oblivious. True to my autistic self, I was oblivious. But anyway, so my dad talked to me a lot about my husband, and he was very thankful. And my dad knew he wasn't going to make it to see this Christmas. He knew. And I've thought about that moment a lot, especially my birthday on the 7th of December was my birthday. I thought about that moment a lot then. All this week I've thought about that moment with my dad. And I remember, I will share this. I grew up like this. My dad, he was a man of few words, but man, my dad was wise. I don't know where my dad got the wisdom from. I don't know if it was from his upbringing or his life as an adult, life of military with my mom. Maybe it's a mixture of things. But my dad was really wise. And one of the things that he reminded me of before he passed away was that that I get to choose how I allow things to affect my life. I can choose an event, one event, and I can let it ruin me and put me in an abyss of darkness, or I can choose to stand up and take that one moment that affected me. And it's okay to be sad, but not let it define me and let it keep me in that state. So I do have moments where I cry and then I'm okay. It's kind of weird. Grief is weird, and everybody grieves differently, it seems. And people allow things, events like that, like losing a loved one that you really love, to affect them differently. And some people have control over how it affects them, and some people don't have control over how it affects them. And my understanding from my dad is it comes to a lot of how their journey's been in their life. How mentally strong are they? Are they emotionally strong? How is their mental health at the time that the event happened? Do they have a good support system? So there's a lot of scenarios. I think my dad was prepping me for his death, to be honest with you, because it was a very deep conversation that we had. And he reminded me, he's like, honey, you have the full 100% control of how you let any one event affect you. He said, you can be sad, but you can also choose while you're sad to look around you and grasp and only concentrate on the things that are a blessing to you, and be thankful for those things, and don't dwell in the past. And those are really wise words. So I could feel that dark cloud starting to descend on me. And I'm like, okay, you're a mom. Right now you're a mom and a wife. You have 2 boys that are alive and healthy. They need to have a happy Christmas. So you're going to put a smile on your face, and you're going to dedicate this Christmas to your dad. And you're going to help your husband continue, because we do this every year. Every year, after my husband's stepfather passed away, that affected him really deeply. And it's still, every July, my husband gets very sad and gets really moody and kind of cranky and irritable. And I always know when July 9th is here by my husband's mood. Sorry, dogs. That's just ranch life here. And so we always choose to honor Noel, and we choose to honor my stepmother-in-law who passed away from the same cancer my dad had, actually. We choose to honor Dottie. The way we honor Noel, we have his picture up every Christmas. We refuse to take his picture down off my husband's armor, and we just decorate it around it. And so he's part of the Christmas decoration. We don't have a picture of Dottie, but what we do have is all of Dottie's hand-quilted Christmas decorations. So she has a quilted tree skirt. We use it every year. She has a quilted wall hanging that we hang up. She has some quilted table runners that we put out. And we celebrate her and remember her every Christmas by putting those things out. And it helped my husband get through those sad times because we were remembering them. And so this year, we have my daddy's obituary picture up, and I have my angel. I have my Noel angel that my friend Dawn Aaron made me. The angel has beautiful wings that are outstretched, and they have purple and blue iridescent color all through the feathers because she mixed my favorite color with my daddy's favorite color. And then he's holding a heart that says Dad on it. It's beautiful. totally surprised me. She said she was sending me something. Of course, she didn't tell me what it was. And of course, as I'm doing now, I'm ugly girl crying because it means the world to me. Anyway, so I have that amongst my Charlie Brown stuff, and my husband purposely decorated it around my dad. My dad loved Christmas. He loved it. And my dad loved to spoil us kids. I'm 50, and even last year when my dad was so sick, he sent money. He always sent money. More than he should have, actually. But my dad, one of his love language was the love language of gifting. It's just, he would save up all year so he could send money to the family, to his grandkids and his kids. And that's just my dad. And the funny thing is I'm just like my dad. I save up all year so I can spoil my kids and so and my grandkids. And so I was thinking about that this year, and I was on the phone with my oldest daughter, and she's like, Mom, you don't have to send me money. I'm an adult now. I'm like, I know I don't have to send you money. It's not about me having to send you anything. What are you worried about? I save up specifically to be able to do this for your birthdays and your Christmases. It's my time for Sean and I to love on you. You're working hard. You're keeping a steady job. Although she makes more power than I do, little turd. Anyway, I'm like, it's just a chance for us to we don't get to see you because we live so far away now. I'm like, we just want to love on you. We want to spoil you a little bit. And really, the money we're sending really isn't that much. And so I told her, hush, shush. It's not, you don't get to tell me what I'm going to do. Anyway, and so when I got off the phone with her, I was like, holy crap. I'm a lot like my dad than I realized. That's exactly what my dad does. And I do it on my kids. Man. So, yeah, it's exactly what my dad did. And I'm doing the same thing. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm honoring my dad in that way. Anyway, so I told myself, I'm like, there's so many of these wonderful Christmas messages out there, and I just decided, I'm like, I'm going to put a smile on my face. I'm going to honor my dad. And honoring my dad doesn't mean I can't cry, obviously, because I'm boo-hooing on freaking YouTube. It just means I'm choosing to embrace the people that I still have in my life. I still need to call my mom. I haven't called her yet. I need to. I think I'm going to call her tonight, and then I'm going to call her tomorrow night when we get back from my father-in-law's house, just so she knows that we made it home safe, because we're going to be driving home in the dark, and she knows we have like moose and bear and deer here and elk, and she worries, rightly so. I'm her daughter, and every mother worries. So I definitely need to call her tomorrow night when we get home and let her know we're safe. And I also know this is a really rough Christmas for her. My brother and my sister-in-law just got done visiting her with my two beautiful nieces. And one of my nieces got married this year. His name's Nate. He's a cutie pie. He's so cute. He has been my niece's boyfriend all through high school. And they were best friends as kids. I just love it. I love their little love story. I say little. I just love their love story. They're precious. Nate's precious. And he comes from a good family who know how important family is. And that's important. And so I know she's going to be well taken care of. As long as they both love each other and continue to respect each other and make choices together and don't let other people interfere in their life in a negative way, they're going to be just fine. Anyway, I digress. I don't even know where I was going. I'm just now having a squirrel moment. Anyway, I just wanted to focus on those people that are alive and well. I need to call my brother and my sister-in-law, tell them Merry Christmas, tell them how much I love them, and I will do that. And right now I've been trying to cook for my father-in-law. So let me tell you something on these lines. So My father-in-law is like a big, grumpy grizzly bear. And he's not a man of words. He doesn't do words of affirmation hardly ever. And he doesn't say the words, I love you. He just doesn't. He shows his love through gift giving, taking care of you. You know what I mean? Like we pay property tax. That's it. He's given us this cabin to literally live in, so we can finish raising our son where I'm not having to work 60 hours a week. So our son's not being brought up in a daycare. It was something he really wanted to do for us. And frankly, my father-in-law wasn't doing well with no family here. His mental health was just not good. And his stepbrother called my husband and said, I need you in Montana now, like as soon as you can get up there. And we had to hightail it up here. We were going to move up here anyway, because Sean really felt like that was something we needed to do for many, many reasons. Not just because of his dad, just many reasons. And he just, as a son, he wanted to make sure that he could fulfill my father-in-law's last wishes and make sure they get that it gets handled and it gets done. He's doing his duties as a son, and you got to respect that. Anyway, and so we were at my father-in-law's, dropping him back off at his, no, we weren't. We were at his house he wanted the Christmas tree up this year. He didn't his maid put the Christmas tree up last year, and it didn't have any decorations. It was just a tree. He didn't want the tree up, but she refused, and she said, you have to have the tree up. But there was no decorations on it, and I didn't really understand what that was about. He wasn't feeling well. My father-in-law wasn't feeling well. He just wasn't in the holiday spirit. But this year, he called my husband. He's like, we need the tree up, and we need decorations on there. So we went over there on a Sunday, and we took care of it. And he was getting with me about the dinner menu, and he's like, I'll take care of the ham, you take care of the sides. So what are you bringing? Because the way to that man's heart is, one of the ways to that man's heart is food. and I know this. And so I'm like, well, obviously, I'm going to bring some of your favorites, green bean casserole. I'm going to bring the sweet potato, the candied yam. He loves my candied yams. He had never had anything like that. He was like, he's like, there's pineapple in here. I'm like, I know. And marshmallows. I'm like, it's really not a vegetable. It's a dessert. Anyway, he loves it. So I told him it's good. And he loves mashed potatoes. So I told him I was going to bring those. And he loves Pillsbury buttermilk biscuits. Oh, I forgot to tell my husband to pick some of those up. I'm going to have to go to the store. Shoot, I knew I was forgetting something. Oh, anyway. Oh, God, I hope we can make that happen. I'm going to have to wake my husband up. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to wake my husband up. I'm wearing my jammy pants. How faux pas is it to go to a store in your jammy pants out in the country? Would that be bad? No, I'll have to put on some sweatpants or something. Anyways, I can't go out in the store in just my jammy pants. That's just not right. Anyway, so he's like, okay, I'm going to bring an apple pie. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, look, well, we're going to have 2 pies. I'm like, I hope that's okay. He's like, what do you mean we're going to have 2 pies? I'm like, Dad, I didn't get to bring you your your lemon meringue pie for Thanksgiving because you weren't here. We didn't get to have Thanksgiving with you because you were flying for Scott's wedding. Scott is my husband's stepbrother, Dottie's son, and he was getting married, really getting remarried late in life. I was like, dude, what are you doing? But he fell in love with this woman, and she's a really sweet lady, and they're gonna spend the rest of their lives together. And so they got married on Christmas, the day after. They got married the day after Thanksgiving. And so my father-in-law didn't get to have his pie. He's like, well, you don't have to bring me that pie. It's Christmas. I'm like, you get this pie every single year, once a year. You're getting your pie. He just looked at, he's like, well, okay, then we'll have 2 pies. I'm like, that's right. We're having 2 pies. My father-in-law. Anyway, so he's getting 2 pies. And so when I was thinking about that moment this morning, and it made me smile. I'm like, this is the right decision. I gotta pay attention to the people that are still here and enjoy them, because dang, I don't know if they're gonna be here tomorrow or not. Look how fast my dad was taken away. So I'm like, I can sit around and just cry and mope and be sad and just let this dark cloud continue to rain on me. Or I can do what my dad said to do, and I can grasp onto the good things in my life. I have some wonderful friends that I have more friends than I've ever had in my entire life. I have friends from the YouTube streets. Never thought I would ever have any relationship, true friends from YouTube. That was the last place I would expect to form a relationship and work on a relationship with. And then I have a couple of friends here at our church. And so I'm really blessed. I'm a very lucky person to have so many wonderful people in my life. So I just decided that that's what I needed to concentrate on. And so as long as this video is, and I hope you guys listen to this message to the end, but I hope that maybe my journey during my first Christmas without my dad, maybe it will inspire somebody or comfort somebody. You're not alone. And if you don't decide to do the journey that I'm doing, and that is that trying to take the more positive route, and maybe you just can't do that, you don't have the strength to do that, I want to let you know it's okay. That doesn't make what you're doing wrong. We all decide differently how we choose to allow the pain to affect us. And sometimes you have no control over it, and it overtakes you. And I've been fighting it, I'm not going to lie. It almost overtook me today. It did. It was very close. I sat on my butt all morning long, didn't get a thing done. I sent the message that I'm going to choose to honor my dad, and that means I need to get off my butt and get in the kitchen and start cooking, because my father-in-law is really looking forward to the food that I'm going to bring over. I don't want to disappoint him. And I knew my husband was going to be home soon. And I'm just like, look, my little boy is 12 years old. I don't want him seeing his mom sad today. I need to get my crap together. And so I did. I got my booty in shape and got my crap together. And I have the yams baking in the oven as we speak. That's step number 1. I got to do those first because they take a long time to bake. Green bean casserole, man, I can do that in 30 minutes. Anyway, so I hope that you feel the love from me with this message. I hope you know that those of you that have been following my channel for a very long time, and those of you that are new that haven't been watching me very long at all and hardly know anything about me, I just want you to know that I appreciate you. And I'm very hit and miss, as most of you know, and I have some of you that, for whatever reason, you've stuck by my side. So it didn't go unnoticed. It didn't. And I don't really have a whole lot to say normally. I just felt like sharing this. I thought it might help somebody. Maybe it would help you realize you're not by yourself if you're going through what I'm going through and what my rest of my family's going through it. My brother's going through it. My mom's going through it. I have some amazing cousins. I really do. I have my cousin Patrick. I love my cousin Patrick. Oh, I miss that boy. So I say boy because he's younger than me. I miss that man so much, and I miss his wife Elaine. I love my cousin Elaine. She's my cousin through marriage, but I love that woman. I know I could, I need to call them. Today's her birthday. I need to send her a happy birthday message. My cousin Elaine, it's her birthday today. I love that woman. She is, what you see is what you get with her. I never have to try and guess what's really going on with my cousin Elaine. she just tells it like it is, and I love it. Her and I have kind of different views on faith and a couple of different views on the world, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because I love her and she loves me, and we respect each other, and we allow each other to have our different beliefs, and it's okay. You don't have to agree, people, to love on somebody and to get along with somebody. And I just love my cousin Elaine. I just love her raw honesty, to be honest. I do. I just love her. And her and my cousin Patrick, you know, marriage is hard. My marriage with my husband is hard. And they stick by each other's side, man. And God, you got to respect that. And my cousin Patrick, he's in the military. He's a patriot. He fights for his country. He goes to deployments a lot. We're not allowed to know where he goes, obviously, because you got to keep our men and women safe. There's just some things that the public don't need to know about, people. We don't need to know everything. Anyway, we have become a very nosy society and a very entitled society. It needs to stop. Anyway, and I just respect my cousin Patrick. And I have two cousin Kims. I have my cousin Kim that lives in California. And then I think my other cousin Kim, I think she lives in Nevada. Does she live in Nevada? She used to live in Colorado, but she don't live there anymore. I think she moved. Anyway, we get to touch base every once in a while on Facebook. And my cousin Heather is the older sister of my cousin Patrick. I used to get to see them pick on each other when we were kids. So much fun. And my brother and I would pick on each other also. You know what I mean? Like sibling rivalry. But them two of them, they love each other. But my cousin Heather is, she's pretty wonderful too. So I have some wonderful cousins. I do. Those are probably my favorite cousins that I have. Those are the ones that I tend to keep in contact with, as much as I don't really keep in contact as near as much as I should. But I do follow them on Facebook, and we talk every once in a while through messages, you know, on Facebook and stuff, comments and stuff like that. So it's kind of my extended family that I appreciate, and I've been thinking about them a lot this week too. You know, especially my cousin Patrick and Elaine. I so miss them so much. We spent a lot of time with them. Did you know that they lived in Florida for like over 2 years before I realized that they were only 45 minutes from me? I had no idea they were in Florida. No clue. Never dawned on me. Had no clue. And my cousin was going home from the hospital. I'm like, wait a minute. That's a hospital in Destin, Florida. And I sent my cousin a message. I said, what the hell are you doing in Florida? Like, oh, we've been here for over 2 years now. I'm like, what do you mean? Anyway, yeah, we saw them very shortly after I found that out. And then my cousin Patrick and my husband, oh my God, when you get the two of them together, it's just shenanigans. Just all kinds of shenanigans. And they both ride motorcycles. So you could just imagine. But we went riding together several times, and we spent every Thanksgiving with them. We'd go over there when one of their kids was having a birthday. We spent Christmas with them. We spent New Year's Eve with her one year with them because it was her birthday. Can you tell I miss them? I'm missing them really bad this year. And I told her so. She had posted something on Facebook the other day, and I told her, I'm like, man, I miss you, girl. Your birthday's coming around the corner, and I wish I was in Florida to spend it with you. Because I do. I miss her. I miss that chick. Anyway. Yeah. So, I'm hoping if you are having a rough time, you have someone, whether it's in your family unit or whether it's a friend that you consider family, I hope there's somebody in your life that will remind you that life is still good. And that it's still okay to smile and laugh. It's still okay. You're not dishonoring the one that you lost by smiling or laughing. For me, and I can only speak from my experience because we're all very different. For me, smiling and laughing and living my life to the fullest is the best way to honor my father, because that's what he wanted for me. It's what he wanted for my brother too. He wants us to live our life to the fullest and enjoy every minute of it. And I'm trying, Dad. I'm doing the best I can. I think I'm doing pretty good, actually. So, there you go. You're not alone. And however you decide to deal with this holiday, it's okay. And I hope that you have someone in your life that will tell you that it's okay, besides me. Someone like physically around you that can maybe even, if you're a hugger, I'm not a hugger. If you're a hugger, they can give you a hug. If you're not a hugger like me, they can just tell you that they love you and they hear you, and then feed you some pie or whatever your favorite food is. All right, I've been on here long enough. I just wanted you guys to know some of the thoughts that were going on in my head. I hope it helps. I hope it brings comfort. I hope it inspires you. I hope it reminds you of how many blessings you actually do have in your life. And I hope it will help you not to squander this holiday season, because it's not about presents. It's not about the lights and the glitter, although the lights and the glitter are so pretty. They really are. I love Christmas tree lights. I love them. As long as they're not blinking. I can't do the blinking lights. But I hope you don't squander it. And if you're one of those people that are spending today and tomorrow alone, because you don't have family that live close to you, I pray that you have a friend that's able to come over and spend some, even if it's just 1 hour, spend 1 hour with you. If you have, or I pray that you have a place that maybe you can go, or you have someone that will call you and just spend some time with you on the phone. I know some people are going to be over at MDL Crochets tonight and over at Juan the Yarn Addicts at some point tonight, spending time there. If you have a Yarny community or a YouTube community that you can spend time in tonight and tomorrow, I hope you're able to, so you don't feel so lonely. Okay? Anyway, I'm sending you as much love as I can from Big Sky, Montana. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. And if you don't celebrate Christmas or any of these other holidays, and it's just a normal day for you, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed weekend. Bye, everybody. Hugs.